Hi guys, let's quickly understand the use of irony in the novel Pride and Prejudice, which is written by Jane Austen. Now let's understand. Introduction. Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice is renowned for its masterful use of irony, which serves as a critical tool for social commentary and character development. So, in this novel, we know that there are too many characters and how beautifully they all the characters are developed, and how it is a social commentary. Social commentary means the use of artistic, literary, or other creative works to express a viewpoint about social issues and with the goal of raising awareness. So, how Jane Austen has used this weapon or this tool of irony to do social commentary and to point out the follies of society and how to create awareness. She uses this tool of irony for that. Now, Austen employs various forms of irony, that is verbal, situational, and dramatic. All three are used in this novel to expose societal norms, critique class structure, and highlight the follies of her characters. So, societal norms, rules, and regulations which were there in 19th century, she has written about that. She has critiqued class structure, and overall she highlights the follies of all the characters developed in the story. Now, first we will see verbal irony. And now, what does it mean? Verbal irony, it means this is when a speaker says one thing but means another. So he or she says something and the meaning is somewhat different. Austen, especially through her narrator and characters, like Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Bennet, often uses verbal irony to inject wit and satire. So she uses the characters of Elizabeth Bennet and her father, who's Mr. Bennet, to inject or to infuse wit and satire in the novel. So these are the prominent characters through which she uses verbal irony. Now let's see one example here. The novel opens with the famous line, "It is a truth is universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." So it says that a social truth is there, but it's actually ironic. It critiques the way society assumes. So, what society assumes, that wealthy men are naturally seeking wives. All the wealthy men who are with good fortune, they are in need or they are in search of wives, when in fact it's often the families of unmarried women who are eager to marry them off. But what's the reality? That all the parents or families of unmarried women want and eagerly want to marry their daughters off. So, this is the reality, whereas it is shown something else. Now, next, one more example is there of verbal irony, that is, Mr. Bennet also frequently uses verbal irony to mock his wife or the foolishness of other characters. So, Mr. Bennet is also used as a character, and through the character of Mr. Bennet, she uses verbal irony. And Mr. Bennet is a person who is somewhat witty and humorous in his character and in his demeanor. So, sorry. So he sometimes mock his wife and the foolishness of other characters. So through which she used verbal irony. Now let's see next, that is situational irony. Situational irony, this occurs when there is a discrepancy between expected results and actual outcomes. So, what is thought and what happens is somewhat different. So, this is called situational irony. Now, let's take the example of situational irony. Elizabeth's prejudice versus Darcy's pride. Elizabeth prides herself on her judgment. She is the character who has taken so much proud uh, in her character when she thinks that she is witty, her judgments are always good. Yet she misjudges Darcy and trusts Wickham. So at first, she misjudges the character of Darcy and she trusted Wickham. The irony lies in the fact that her own prejudice blind her. So prejudice is a preconceived notion in our mind, and that was the result when she was blinded by her decisions, and she thought something else about Darcy. Just as Darcy's pride initially makes him appear arrogant and disdainful, and initially, due to that, Darcy was also looking a proud character initially, and he was appeared to be arrogant and disdainful, whereas he was not. Disdainful means a person who is thought by others to not be respected. So he was somewhere not respected by others, but it was not right. Now, next is Charlotte Lucas marriage. Now, let's see. Charlotte is a pragmatic woman. Woman means practical woman, and she marries the ridiculous Mr. Collins, not out of love but out of economic necessity. So, that kind of social setup was there when the family of girls or ladies wanted their child to get married as soon as possible just by looking the prospect who's financially sound. So Mr. Collins is a person who's silly, who's unreasonable, whereas Charlotte, by just looking Mr. Collins' economic condition, which was so sound, she was ready to marry him. So the irony here critiques how marriage, supposedly a romantic institution, it is taken as a romantic institution, but marriage somewhat different in that era when often it becomes a strategic and survival tool for some people. So it was taken as a survival tool for the characters of this novel. Now, next is number three, dramatic irony. Dramatic irony, this is when the audience knows something the characters do not. Okay, so as a reader, as an audience of that drama or play, they know what is the reality, what kind of characters are, whereas the other characters do not know. Now, in the case of Mr. Wickham's true character, for a large part of the novel, the reader is led along with Elizabeth to believe Wickham is a charming victim of Darcy's cruelty. So, as a reader, we all know that Wickham is a very charming character and he was only the victim of Darcy's cruelty. Whereas in the later part of the novel, we come to know that the revelation about Wickham is he was deceitful, he was manipulative, and it creates dramatic irony in earlier scenes. So, this is how all the three irony or the type of irony is used in this novel. First was verbal irony, second was situational irony, and third was dramatic irony. So, all these three are beautifully used in this novel, and that's it for this video. So, we see that irony is a central mechanism that shapes the tone, themes, and enduring appeal of the novel. So, how this makes this novel so beautiful, this is all about. So, if you have liked the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and if you are new to the channel, do subscribe it. Thanks for watching.